It's officially happening. They are not hiding it anymore. XRP adoption is around the corner. If you hold XRP, you must watch this video. Davos 2026 took place just a couple of days ago, and everything was about integrating digital assets into the traditional financial system.
I think the movement towards tokenization is necessary. I think we need to move very rapidly to doing that. We would be reducing fees. We would do more democratization.
Tokenization of real-world assets was at the center of Davos 2026. The people in charge for reshaping the future of global finance are giving you the blueprints. So I need you to focus right now. If you think the World Economic Forum is not enough, we got some major news from the International Monetary Fund. Just a few hours ago, the International Monetary Fund, one of the most important financial institutions in the entire world, just published a video explaining tokenization of real-world assets. So before I break down what that means for XRP, we're gonna watch this together. So let's get started.
Money has come a long way since the first uses of shells or coins millennia ago. Today, it may even be considered our most used technology, as most people are using money that is recorded digitally. So what's the next step in this evolutionary story? Let's talk about tokenization, or how we turn our pocketbooks into something that's programmable. Why would we need programmable money? We use money to consume or save, and owning assets is a common way to save. Tokens can make it faster and cheaper to buy, own, and sell assets. Say that I want to buy a corporate stock or bond. Today there would be a long chain of middlemen between me and that company. Think for instance of a clearinghouse, an independent bridge between the buyer and seller of an asset. It waits to receive the buyer's payment and the seller's asset, and then exchanges them, avoiding the risk either side fails to deliver. But waiting costs time, and time is money in finance. Another example is registrars, institutions that transfer a company's interest in dividend payments to the asset owners. A tokenized market can automate their function. Tokenization can make financial markets faster and cheaper through programs that automate or reduce the role of intermediaries. Researchers who've recently studied tokenized markets found significant cost savings. Tokenization's promise is visible in the numbers. But efficiencies from new technologies often come with new risks. Automated trading has already led to sudden market plunges known as flash crashes. With their instantly executed trading, tokenized markets can be more volatile. Also, tokenization allows chains of programs to be written on top of each other. In a crisis, these could interact adversely like falling dominoes. Another risk is that many new markets could emerge, and if their tokens don't speak to each other, known as interoperability, markets could fragment and fail to deliver faster and cheaper trading. That means specific policies may be needed for tokenization to really deliver on its promise while limiting the risks. Indeed, governments have rarely been content to stay on the sidelines during important evolutions of money. So if history is any guide, they may take a more active role in the future of tokenization.
I don't know if you get this, but the language they chosen on this video seems straight out of a Ripple playbook. A neutral bridge currency between assets sounds familiar to you? Efficiency, low transaction fees, saving time, all default capabilities of the XRP ledger, which, by the way, the XRPL is becoming a champion of tokenization. No other blockchain has the same technical capabilities and amendments that are all being approved at the same time to ensure that financial institutions can safely adopt XRP as a bridge currency. But pay attention, it's not only about efficient payments, it's about tokenizing everything of value. Institutions are tokenizing funds, treasuries, and credit products on the XRP ledger. What you see on the screen is the XRP ledger metrics, and it just hit over 1 billion assets already tokenized on the XRP ledger. Adoption is happening in real time. Every single major financial institution from the IMF, International Monetary Fund, Bank of International Settlements, they all pointing towards the same direction. The future is on chain. And all of the institutions I just mentioned have already publicly praised the XRP Ledger capabilities for tokenizing real-world assets. They even classified XRP as a neutral bridge currency. It goes beyond the technical capabilities. This is about political alliance. Brad Garlinghouse has been invited to the table with the IMF multiple times. Christine Lagarde, president of the European Central Bank and former head of the IMF, has already praised XRP in public. And the fact that price action is boring at the moment, that's your bullish sign. And I know most people are not ready for this conversation, but the escrow plays a pivotal role in ensuring XRP becomes a world reserve currency. Although I don't have the physical evidence to unveil this, but that is something that everyone's missing out. The over 40 billion XRP that are sitting in escrow are not there by accident. I truly believe the XRP in escrow don't even belong to Ripple anymore. And let me tell you a secret. Those XRP have been previously allocated to two major financial institutions, the IMF and the Bank of International Settlements. Do I have physical evidences? No, but I do have years of research on this space, and everything points out to that direction.
There's 2 votes.
Let me try.
Do you see IMF holding crypto assets in the future? Oh, they're over here. That's easier. You want to take one? Go for it. The first one's for you. IMF. Do you see IMF holding crypto assets in the future? I did not put that up there.
Remember, I'm from the legal department. I'm supposed to be very conservative about these things. I don't want to go into great details about
Maybe I should take what the IMF is going to do. I think we stunned Ross into silence with that one.
For that to happen, okay, under the current legal framework, some country would have to use a crypto asset as its currency.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is how they're going to ensure central banks have enough XRP in their balance sheets. This is how XRP replaces Nostro Vostro accounts and becomes a liquidity provider to the banks. And you, XRP holder, you sit in the same position as the banks, because now the banks are going to rely on your liquidity. If you hold XRP, you become a liquidity provider to the banks. This asset is designed for a global liquidity crisis. And let me tell you why XRP is not yet sitting at 3, 4, or 5 digits. Because XRP success depends on the failure of the current financial system. This means the dollar, as you know, has to fail. And guess what? That's already happening. Why do you think gold is hitting new all-time highs above $5,000 for the first time in history? Central banks accumulating large sums of gold? The financial reset is around the corner. That means XRP adoption is coming sooner than most people realize.
Because it requires capital to get it there. Our view in the future is you don't have to have this pre-funding, and instead you can use a digital asset to have global liquidity on demand. Now, we build upon a tech stack, an open source technology called XRP. XRP originally was built by some engineers who had seen some of the flaws of Bitcoin.
And if you made this video to the end, let me know in the comments who are the real ones. I want to know the ones that make it to the end. And if you want to trade crypto without KYC, remember, link in the description, Bitfinex Exchange, the exchange partner of this channel. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to see you in the next video.